Hello guys, welcome to the first cast that we are having since the new update / release of Stormgate. This is actually from the Control Cup, the finals of the Control Cup, the Korean tournament that has been being held for the past 3 weeks. We've been covering it for those 3 weeks, and now we have made our way to the finals. This is going to be a best out of 5. It's going to be between Gruu and MC. So spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have playing as the Blue Infernal player, we have Gruu. And spawning in the upper right-hand corner of the map, his opponent, playing as the Red Celestial player, we have MC. Alright, so, couple arc ships now. Things are totally different. This is the first game that I've casted with the new updates, so totally different things going on here, guys. We have prisms with legs. Little baby prisms here, as you will call them. They look really cool, though, with all the little light beams of luminite they're sending back to the collection array. Very, very, very cool. And it looks like MinChul is using the arc ships to produce even more of these cute little baby prisms. We have 2 arc ships just spamming out a 3rd arc ship. So we're just making arc ships to spam prisms out. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't see any buildings. No collection arrays down yet. So this is totally different than what we are used to seeing here. Let's see what's going on here at the base of Gruu. We've been looking at this crazy celestial changes so far, getting a little hyper focus there on those prisms. Breaking down some trees. It looks like Gruu wants to get a quick 3rd base. He's got his natural up. What is going on here? We have a bunch of baby prisms chasing a brute down. I don't know if you guys knew this, but these baby prisms, they can fight. They can fight really hard. They actually do a lot of damage. They're like ranged. I don't know. They look at this. Look at this. Look how much damage they're going to do. But Gruu sees. Thankfully, he had the brute out on the map at the time, and he was able to place a shroud stone down. I don't think the prisms want to attack into a shroud stone. They see how much time is left before the shroud stone is done. They wanted to pick off that 1 imp beforehand, but yeah, they're gonna have to retreat. I really wish that this shroud stone wasn't here so we could have seen what would have been without it. Shroud stone, though, forcing these prisms home. Now, this could have worked. If that shroud stone wasn't there, they would have definitely taken out the imps. They could have probably, you saw how quickly they were damaging those brutes. They probably could have surrounded the brutes, done enough damage to actually maybe kill them and take out a bunch of imps. I think they could have. I wish that I could have seen it. And oh my god, we have a moron shrine. This is a little joke that people called placing a shrine in this location, because when you see it you're like, oh, why would anyone place this here? That's only a moron would do that. But no, it's actually, look how close they are mining now. Cost you about 300, but your imps basically just turn around and just mine it right back. Like, it's kind of like in that one fastest map possible. You don't actually have to walk back to bring it back to the base, so you could just turn around and mine super quickly. First Stormgate has gone off, and it looks like Gruu is already grabbing it. MinChul definitely didn't have anything to get it at the time, because as we saw, the only thing he had was a bunch of prisms. Looks like he is making a 3rd base. We have prisms just going over here to mine. They actually don't need a drop-off zone. So these prisms basically can just go on top of this Ethereum and they can mine it. A couple brutes going in, looking for a 3rd base and or a 4th base. Didn't see these prisms here mining. This is going to be something that people are going to have to start scouting and looking for, is just to see if there's, because you're thinking that you're looking for a building, and you're not going to see a building because they're just sitting on top of the Ethereum mining it. We do have vectors. Vectors are out. Vectors are really fast. Vectors can kite brutes around like crazy. These brutes are coming in. They didn't have a plan to do too much damage. They were just getting a nice little scout in, seeing if they could pick off a couple of the little baby prisms. These other fiends, they're just running around looking for any other bases, trying to keep an eye on what his opponent is doing. Many, many vectors. Many, many prisms. Many, many vectors being built. We have the Ascension Matrix. It is researching the research recall for the vectors. It's going to give the vectors 30% movement speed and also allow them to be able to do kind of like a blink or a teleport. They can basically teleport back to the location so they can avoid taking damage and or dying. So, for example, he can basically grab that little guy and he can make him blink out of the damage, out of the way, out of the front lines, and that's what his plan is going to be. Gruu, though, is just macroing up. He went in with his units, his scouts. He saw that he was allowed to do this. He saw his opponent taking a 4th base. He has his 3rd base. That's telling Gruu that he has the time to be able to expand. Now, a whole bunch of vectors are coming in, trying to pick off as many gaunts as they can. They were surrounded, but they just out DPS these gaunts significantly. I don't know if we have any upgrades to the gaunts. They are not. It's actually, they have the chakram, so that means they're going to be able to spawn a fiend or a phantom every single time they kill a unit, and the unit basically will become cursed once they shoot at it. So good that he has that, and what he's also getting is Reaper's Rush. That's going to allow his gaunts to be able to move a lot faster so that they're going to be able to keep up with these vectors and be able to not get kited so badly from them. But this is a lot of vectors, guys. Now, these guys can just come in. They can shoot like all these imps and just leave if they want to, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. All these imps, there's not going to be an imp left. If we're okay, there was 2 imps left. But we have Stormgate going off in the center. Doesn't look like either player wants to go get it right now. They are just going to battle it out right over here. These vectors are actually not in a good position, though. They're getting picked off one by one because Gruu is target firing the one that is dying so that he's able to actually kill them. And you see there was that blink right there. I don't know if it just finished or maybe it was on cooldown because I feel like you should have used it sooner. Stormgate going off. It looks like Gruu is going to be able to get it, if I do say so myself. More vectors are going to come in and try to deny it. He does have a few sabers. The sabers will be able to shoot off really far from the back lines. They might even be able to outrange the Hellborns. I believe that they can. But these vectors, they're trying to come around from the back using the speed advantage that they have, and they're trying to pick off those Hellborns because at the moment, those Hellborns are probably the biggest threat that these sabers have. If it wasn't for those sabers and the maneuvering of those vectors, I did not think that this Stormgate was actually going to possibly go in MinChul's favor. It's just kind of going back and forth right now. The Weavers are a really good choice to deal with the sabers, but I just feel like the numbers weren't really there for Gruu. I think this Stormgate just has to be given to MinChul at this point, and Gruu's just going to have to regather his forces together and try to see if he can hit with a big ball and not just this dwindling little mini forces that are just continuously dying. You see with a large army, he actually can do a significant amount of damage, get a surround, possibly be able to use some Weavers to pull off the sabers in the back lines, but he's just going in with too little every single time, it feels like. And it looks like MC was able to take a 5th base, and he still is mining the Therium over here, which is giving him a lot of units and a lot of upgrades and a lot of sabers too. He's going to come in and try to see if he can pick off more of this 4th base of Gruu. There's just a lot of defense from Gruu. I mean, he's got Weavers that are grabbing these sabers, but nothing to really attack once they were grabbed. I just feel like that fight could have gone better from like both parties. Again, Gruu just, I feel like not enough forces, but I mean he really has to fight with something when you have this many celestial units right on your front door. Like you have to do something, but oh, did we just hear the sound of a flame imp? Yes, we did. Ooh, okay, so we have Flame Imps actually upgraded. Flame Imps are crazy, guys. If you're a StarCraft 2 fan, they're like banelings. It's basically like turning your imp into a baneling. These vectors are very squishy. If they make connections, did you see that? That was 2 flaming imps. It was able to take out an entire vector in 1 explosion. More flame imps. Just making, even if they're not killing the vectors right away, the health of the vectors is going down so significantly. Units are also, reinforcements are coming out from multiple directions, so it's easy for Gruu to get a nice surround. It looks like MC doesn't want to commit into that, knowing that there's flame imps. The vectors, they're just too squishy. He backed it off and he's thinking, hey, let me just try to get this Stormgate, maybe, you know, fortify the win, instead of risking going in, losing everything to a handful of imps. He's going in now with some of them, just trying to be a bit of a distraction while he takes the Stormgate. More flame imps coming in. There's just so many vectors. Stormgate is taken by MC. He gets 2 soul forges, going to soul forge a couple more sabers. Yeah, huge gaunt force. Do we have more flame imps? I feel like we should just put some flame imps in the army if I was Gruu. And it looks like MC is coming in for a huge push. Tons of flame imps going off, making really good connections. Tons of vectors with super low health now. Gaunt's getting a perfect surround, and wow, the sabers in the back lines though are doing quite a bit of damage. But here comes some more flame imps, pushing the vectors back, and the surround is just looking absolutely beautiful from Gruu. And I think that he's gonna have this game in the bag here. The tides have turned just in that one moment right there. I think the Flame Imps were the big MVP here. Now let's see if he's going to over pursue or if he's going to actually win the game here with this push. A lot of static defense that's trying to get morphed. These are Grace Light nodes right now, but as you can see, they are trying to turn into Judicator modes. That will allow them to shoot the enemy, but it takes 30 seconds for them to transform. And that 30 seconds, a lot is going on. I feel like I don't know if 30 seconds is too long. Yeah. I think maybe he should have had those maybe turned into Judicator modes sooner than later, and maybe had at least a couple of them in the mix to take a little bit of the damage. Yeah, wow. Those Flame Imps really saved the day. I feel like if it wasn't for those Flame Imps, those Vectors wouldn't have gotten to be such low health for the rest of the army to clean up. That was a really beautiful game from Gruu, taking game number 1. Alright, game number 1. Looks like it's going to be on Broken Crown, spawning in the upper right-hand corner, up 1 game. We have spawning as the blue Infernal player, we have Gruu. And his opponent, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, as the red Celestial player, it is MC. Last game, we saw a whole bunch of Arc ships get made, and a whole bunch of prisons. Now this time, we have a Creation Chamber. A little different. The Creation Chamber is down before anything else. We did have a couple prisons being made, but this is a very, very fast Creation Chamber. And like I said last game, things have changed a lot since this update / release. So we don't really know what builds are what just yet. Another Creation Chamber going down. We have very similar builds like this prior to the update, though. You know, a lot of rushing from Celestial, creeping down the map like that. This was something that we have seen before. I do want to point out that the Arc ship actually, I think the energy increased. Or, I mean, not the energy, the health on it. So it used to be all the Gaunts would be shooting at it. Because it, like, basically it triggers the Gaunts and the other units to basically shoot at it instead. So they're never going to kill it now. Just want to point that out. Not that they ever really were before, because it already had so much health, but it's never going to die now for sure. Well, I mean, it will, but it's not going to be easy. Now we have the arc ship down on the ground. The gray slight node is down, but I think that he's going to transform that into adjudicator node. It would make sense. I don't know, though. We don't know yet. It looks like Gruu sees what's going on. He has 2 Shroud Stones down. Is that a 3rd Shroud Stone? A 3rd Shroud Stone. A lot of defense. There really isn't... You will not be able to get enough units out to probably deal with this, so these Shroud Stones are super important. We need to at least get 1, maybe 2 of these Shroud Stones to finish to be able to properly defend against this, and as you see, 1 is already down. That's why we have so many going up, because there's no guarantee that all 4 of those will be able to finish, so having a multitude of them trying to be built simultaneously might give you the chance of having at least 1 of them finish. And it looks like MC's a little smarter than that, though. He sees, hey, this one's about to be finished. Let me target that one down. This one's about to be finished. Let's target that one down. These imps are running around, trying to chase the low-health Argents. We even have some prisms in the mix. They're actually not even attacking after I said that they started attacking. But even using a few prisms, he's actually... That's, okay, so that's, I think, what the arc ship is being used for, because prisms, like we said last game, are very strong. So instead of using the arc ship like we've seen in previous patches to fly over to just try to get the Gauntfire to be shot at, it's actually being placed and pumping out prisms. And prisms are adding extra DPS in the situation. Pretty interesting game there. Pretty interesting rush. Things are similar, but yet so different. And MinChul takes game number 2. Alright, guys. Game number 3. Going to be on Broken Crown. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner as the blue Celestial player. Up even score, actually, on the scoreboard. We have MC. And his opponent, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as the Red Inferno player, we have Gruu. Alright, so, still not safe early game versus Celestial. That's still a thing. What do we see this game? So a quick expand. So now we look like we're seeing something similar from game number 1. I just don't know if he's going to be bringing all of those prisms across the map like he did last time, especially because this is Boneyard. This is the largest rush distance on any map, so it's going to take really long for those prisms to even get there. And what we saw last time, or in the game number 1, was that even though he did that, Gruu was able to respond really quickly and had a Shroud Stone up, and those prisms were first to go home, and it was pretty much wasted. So I feel like it would not be a good idea to do that this game if I was MC. We are using the arc ships to pump out prisms. This one's already saturated. We don't have any other buildings down yet. No creation chamber, nothing. We have an iron vault. Just opening up a pretty standard, normal, safe opening from Gruu. He knows that by now, if MC didn't come in yet with either prisms or a bunch of Argents or his what he did last game, that he's probably safe to take a 3rd by now. You can just kind of tell this much time has passed that you probably are safe to be able to do so. Nice creeping though with the Shroud Stones, or not Shroud Stones, the effigies to get the effigy cover, the shroud coverage for the 3rd base there. Very nice, very nice. Because like he did it really quickly. He went straight to it. And he was able to skip one in the center here and use the base shroud to connect that corner one with the others. Meanwhile, we have some prisms going on to Therium. We do have a creation chamber that is done now. Another arc ship has been produced. We also have a Guardian Nexus. It looks like a Brute has split into 2 Fiends, and he is running around trying to see if his opponent has a 3rd base or not. It looks like he is gearing up to, because he is lifting the arc ship and he is going towards the 3rd location. Gruu's base is already finished, his 3rd base. We have a quick Hellforge. Maybe not a quick Hellforge, but nicely timed Hellforge. We're at about 3 minutes, 3 bases. Hellforge almost complete. 2nd Hellforge. I don't know if that was an accident. Unless he's planning on doing double upgrades at once, like a Brute and a Trample from the for the Magvanons. I don't know if that was on purpose.
Dimensional rift detected.
Stormgate going off.
Stormgate
It is a
activate
faraway
soon.
Stormgate. We do have a single fiend. A single fiend can kill this Stormgate if it is not interrupted, and if it hits from pretty much from the beginning. But it just ran right past it. I don't know if he's planning to get it or not. You know what I want to see? I want to see a Prism take a Stormgate.
A
I think
Stormgate
it
has
could.
appeared.
No problem. All right, so we got a couple fiends going over to get the other Stormgate. Doesn't look like MC wants to get the Stormgate, though. If he was going to, I think he really should have right now. He already has Kree. Does he have the rollout? He does already have rollout upgraded. So he's just going to try to attack with the Kree while the Stormgate is getting taken. But he doesn't realize... Well, he probably does. But there's probably a lot of charges on all of these buildings. And Gruu is probably going to be able to spam out a lot of units whenever he needs to. Because he hasn't really made a lot of army. So he has tons of charges in the bank. As long as you don't get to 3, you can bank as many charges for as long as you want, as long as it doesn't go past 3. Once you get up to 3 charges in a building, it won't produce another one. So you want to spend that third one so that you always have one producing. So you have, the maximum amount of units you could possibly make. That's why all of a sudden we see this huge force from Gruu. All the Kree came in, wanted to attack, but they were met with a whole bunch of units that just instantly spawned. Couple fiends trying to run across the map, see what's going on, see if there's a 4th base, because I think maybe not last game, but the game before, MC did take a really quick 4th base. He had a 3rd and a 4th up really, really fast, and we got the creeping horror from Gruu this time. He saw that his opponent has mostly Kree and mostly Argents, and there really isn't that many. The Prisms, though, adding the DPS into this fight might actually do a significant amount of damage. They actually don't go down that easy either. Even the Creeping Horror is having a lot of trouble actually killing them. Yeah. I don't know if Gruu really should have pushed in like that. A lot of Kree are about to explode. Yeah, both forces kind of ended up even. Not a lot of Prisms were killed either. Still at full saturation here. I feel like it wasn't really worth it. I feel like it really wasn't worth it for Gruu. But there wasn't really anywhere else to target. I mean, there's no 4th base. He's got to do some sort of damage to the Celestial's economy somehow. Looks like he's trying to take a 4th base and just out macro MC. But what is MC going to do from here, guys? A lot of Celestial players do really just like to sit on Argents and Kree. Is kind of the combo to go for. Do have a couple Star Forges, actually. I think we're going to see some Sabers. So he's going to go for Sabers. We did see Sabers in the last game, or in game number 1. They were the big units that were shooting from the back, that not the little quick guys. I'm trying to use easy terms for the newer players, but they do a lot of damage from the back lines.
A Stormgate will activate soon.
It looks like Gruu really wants to do some damage here. He doesn't want... He's worried about him, sitting on these bases for too long and getting too big of an army. It seems like he didn't think that he had a 4th, but now he does. Gruu has a 4th of his own, too. He's very hungry for damage, if you guys haven't noticed. He's very, very, very hungry to do some kind of damage. His Brute upgrade is done. He was able to pick off this collection array, but I do want to mention, if this gets placed down, like right here, it can automatically, build a collection array right away. So picking off the collection array really doesn't do as much as it used to, it feels like. Alright, actually a small little counterattack going on to the 3rd. That was just what Gruu needed. He was able to pull the forces of MC back to the 3rd over here, while his main force is actually hitting the main of MC. A ton of Prisms are going down, because this time they're not actually fighting, they're running, and they're taking damage as that happens. Now this collection array is going to go down as well, and this one I feel like is a little bit more important, because this one, sure, that one, this collection, this arc ship was nearby, so he's going to be able to rebuild it, but there is no arc ship except this one, I guess, that could rebuild it. But if he takes out this collection already too, he's going to have to choose between building one base here and one base over there. He's not going to be able to build both, but it looks like a base trade is starting to happen. And it looks like MC says, I lost so much, what am I going to do? And he's going to have to try to equalize the damage is what he's going to have to do. So he's coming in and he's trying to do whatever damage he can. He's actually causing Gruu to force back home. He doesn't want to lose too much while he just was able to grab such a significant lead. But is this a bad idea from Gruu? Because he's taking a ton of casualties along the way. He just was kind of on walk command, running through a bunch of sabers and units attacking him. I think he's decided that he's just going to sacrifice this base. He's going to go for where it hurts more and try to take out as much economy as he can. Some of the forces are coming back to try to deal with what they can because MC realizes if he loses this and all the other bases that he lost, it's really going to be hard for him to try to rebuild back up. So he wanted to try to stop this, but I believe that it could just be too late. I feel like MC lost so much, and at the same time, we do have another base from Gruu over here mining. We have this base mining. So he really only lost one base, but has 3 bases fully mining. This one will be running out probably in the next 2 minutes. So I'm going to call it about 3 bases mining. And MC is now at... This one has full prisms. This one has only 7. So we have about 1.5 bases mining, I want to say, because we still have to refill the prisms here. So, yeah, I feel like economically this is not going so much in Celestial's favor, but we never know what could happen. He could totally turn this around. He does have a few sabers and a dream. And what is Gruu doing? Okay, Gruu has his army over here in the bottom right, which could be really good because the Stormgate is going to go off. But it looks like we have a whole bunch of forces just getting waypointed right down here, and I think MC wants to try to finish this game with what he has and doesn't think that he's going to be able to rebuild, and he thinks this is it. So is this going to be enough from MC or not? It looks like so far it is. A lot of these forces from Gruu are just in a really bad position and took a lot of damage. I think that he could max his army back out really quickly and really easily if he wants to. I just feel like where is the army from Gruu? He should have a lot more forces with this many bases. The Magmadons, though, are going to be very, very detrimental in this fight because they're going to stop these Argents. And then we're going to be left with just these Sabers because the Magmadons are going to destroy the Argents. The Brutes, if they are played properly, could run forward during their charge and surround these Sabers. And let's see if this happens this way. He looks like he's trying to go in and around from the back. Or just opting to go straight in for the base. Nope, nope. Alright, he's trying to pull him back over here, away from the Stormgate. Maybe fight out here in the open and not in this small choke point. But intelligently enough, MC is leaving 2 Argents to try to take care of the Stormgate. And it looks like Gruu said, okay, take the Stormgate. I'll go take your base. I will hit you where it hurts like I did before. So this could be really bad. So it looks like MC wants to go take this base, and he's going to see that Gruu has it. Now, the moment that he sees that Gruu has this base and he's mining from it with that many workers, this might not be very good for MC. Oh my gosh, he almost was able to get that Arc Fortress. That would have been huge because that will inhibit him from being able to build more collection arrays. But did Gruu overextend here? He kind of overextended, and he's kind of forced into just losing all these brutes here. But I don't feel like it's that big of a deal because he does still have all these bases mining. These Magmadons were just kind of caught off in a kind of a bad position. They did stop the army from fighting, so he was able to take out the base over here with the remainder of his army. But I feel like Gruu's just taking unnecessary casualties, more than he needs to be, but he's taking the economic lead, which is going to win him the game most likely. Another base has gone down from Gruu. This is, see, I mean, they're still at the same supply counts though, so like MC is holding on, even though it seems like his bases are gone. He's barely hanging on, but his army supply is still up there, and he's still pushing it forward, and he still is picking a pretty good fight considering the circumstances. But oh my god, the flame imps were just huge. All of the argents just went down. That was absolutely beautiful. Still couple sabers left in the back lines, more flame imps going off.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate
Now
soon.
remember, because MC doesn't have a lot of economy, this is kind of a majority of his forces, and he cannot lose these. These flame imps, if you can get out of the way, they will stop exploding. If you could just back away and avoid the explosion. If they don't find a target, they stop. So we have Spriggans out now. We don't see Spriggans too often, but what does MC have that really can shoot up? Not these sabers. And if he can just continue to take out the Argents with the Flame Imps, there's going to be nothing to take care of the Spriggans. And MC, GG's, and Gruu takes game number 3. Alright guys, game number 4. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have playing as the blue Celestial player, we have MC. And spawning in the upper right-hand corner, we have, who is up a game from his opponent, we have Gruu, the red Infernal player. We're going to be playing on Broken Crown. This is game number 4 in a best out of 5. This is the finals of the Control Cup. Looks like Gruu is opening with an Iron Vault. Nice and safe. Looking like he's gearing up to take a second base. Looks like we have a very similar build that we saw before. This was kind of what happened in game number 2. I believe this was actually the same map too, so this must be the map that MC likes to do this on. I will say he did this to me in a tournament as well, and it was also on this map. So if you ever play against MinChul on this map, be careful. Be ready. It's coming. Alright, so we have 2 creation chambers on the map already. MC is creeping out, but it looks like he's going to land in a different location. Last game, he landed over here. So I think what he's trying to do is kind of play a little psychology with his opponent. He knows that maybe he's going to take a brute, he's going to come over here, and he's going to say, "Are you here? Are you doing it again?" And he's going to say, "Okay, no you're not, we're safe." But meanwhile, things are happening. Things are happening on the other side of these trees, guys. You can't see it if you're Gruu, but you will be getting it. So we have the Fiends, like I was thinking, the Endor Brute getting split. He sees nothing is happening outside of his base, so he's going to expect, hey, I'm not getting attacked right now. This is great. But there was a Fiend over here. Now, I don't know if that Fiend saw this creation chamber. I don't know. If it did, it will know that there is some shady business going down. And he is actually using the prism, so he made prisms. And then he used the prisms to cut down the trees, and now he is using the arc ship to pump out more prisms, and using the prisms to add to the DPS, and using the archons to fight as well. The fiends came back in to deal with the damage, but I mean, look at that. There's 6 archons, 3 prisms, fighting against absolutely nothing at this point. We have imps, but look. So many imps have already gone down, and those 3 prisms have fought a war. They fought a battle and a war, and it's still alive. These prisms are the MVP of this entire series, I believe. Yeah. GG. GG is called, and it looks like MC takes game number 4. Alright guys, game number 5 in this best out of 5. We made it all the way to the 5th game. This is the finals of the Control Cup. The winner of this is the winner of the Control Cup and considered the best in Korea. Let's see who that will be. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have playing as the blue Celestial player, we have MC. And spawning in the upper right-hand corner, playing as the red Infernal player, we have Gruu. Now, both players are up 2 games. This is a tied series right now. All hype is on the line. Looks like Gruu opening with the safe iron vaults into the expand, breaking down those couple trees to get that nice little pocket base. I do like this, but I don't like how you can't spread the effigy down anymore. I like this on the last patch because you can just do the permanent effigies next to each other and have that nice little cool pocket base. But now you have a delayed base instead of a nice cool little pocket base. Because look at how long it took for that building to finish. Just to give it the speed boost, production boost of the building production speed. That's too long, in my opinion. Looks like over here we have MC playing it pretty safe. Just put his first creation chamber down now. Opening a very standard opening for what we know so far in this new meta. Not cheesing, basically. Which is good. Using double arc ships to pump out prisms, which is what we're seeing a lot of the times. The brute is coming in to try to poke at things, but it immediately turns away as fast as possible when it sees the prisms turn, because those prisms, they are gangsters. You do not want to mess with these prisms. Alright, trees are broken down. Third base is going to be going up momentarily from the Gruu man. We actually have Shroudstone. I don't blame him. This opening is exactly what he saw in game number 1, I think it was, where all the prisms all of a sudden came and attacked him at his main base. And that game, the main thing that kept him alive was that Shroudstone. So he's probably just, hey, let's play it safe. Doesn't trust these shady little gangster prisms. We got 3 creation chambers now, though. I don't think that was part of it last time. Oh, okay. There's something else that we don't know that is happening. All the prisms have been pulled, so it's kind of like pulling the boys. Oh, and an arc ship going over here, throwing down some Gracelite nodes, which I don't know if they're going to be turned into the Judicator nodes. Probably going to pump out some prisms over here, too. We have 4 prisms. Oh, there's the rest of them. I was going to say, I thought there were so many more. But this Shroudstone, will this be the MVP Shroudstone yet again? Is Gruu being a very intelligent person by putting this down every time? A lot of people are weary about putting the Shroudstones down, because when you put a Shroudstone down, you're wasting an imp that could be mining, and it costs 100 resources. Look at those.
Soon.
Look at those prisms just killing the imps so easily, as if they're just eating the imps for breakfast. This third base, I don't know if there's any way to defend it. I know that he will be able to keep this base up, and I think that's what Gruu is realizing, that he's just going to have to probably sacrifice that base. We do have 3 production and 3 Shroudstones, so I don't think the natural is going to get broken into. And just a reminder, he's not mining. Okay. So, sure, he was taking out the third base, and sure, this is really cool to see prisms fighting, but he is not mining. So, he needs to make something happen, or this is gonna catch up with him, is all I am gonna say. Because, like, you're basically on 1 base, but you built all this stuff. He still has 12 and 12 on here, but we're basically 1 base versus 2. In a sense. Prisms can always go back home. And he has the Farron now, which he can heal the prisms with. He's gonna go and he has to do something. Like, this is basically MC has to win right now. Or otherwise, he wasted all his time and wasted all of his prisms. And it's not really going... It's going okay for him. The Farron might be a really big deal in this situation, but now there's a Hellborn. He's trying to rush in with the Argents to try to pick off the Hellborn, which he was able to do so. These Argents, though, are getting really, really low health. Still, huge, pretty big size army of Argents. I really, really don't know what Gruu is going to do in this situation. We have a lot of imps mining Therium. Here come the Argents again. We still have one Shroud Stone up, but it is taken down. And a lot of units have been dead. Oh, another Hellborn is shooting from the back lines. This Hellborn can make or break the game right here. Alright, we actually did... It's transforming into an Energizer node, and this one is also going into an Energizer mode. Now, if we can just get a couple of Hellborns out in Gruu's position, he could really take over this position. Transferring some of the workers down. Alright, I think this is it. This has got to be it from MC right here. That Hellborn did a lot of damage in the back lines. Yeah, and then we still have all these Gaunts left. And he still didn't resaturate it home. Yeah, he's just planning... Yeah, this has to work 100% right now. And I don't think it did. I think the forces of MC are slowly dwindling away. And even though it looks like he's winning some of the fights when we have them, he's not gonna be able to keep this up for much longer. Especially... Yeah, I mean, any second now, this Argent army is just going to be gone. The Faerun's going down too. Once that Faerun's down and there's going to be nothing left to heal. Trying to warp in prisms just to give everything that he has left. There's nothing left from MC. There's nothing else that he can do here. The all-in from MC failed, and Gruu takes the series, takes this tournament, and Gruu is considered the best #1 player in Korea. Thank you guys for joining me on this cast, and I will see you guys next time.